afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand, and welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Tuesday, January 11th, 2022, 3 p.m. Eastern. We'll be having tomorrow night, Wednesday night, the Time for Change call at 9 p.m. Eastern on this line, and Friday night, 9 p.m. Eastern this time, Reverse Aging Health Call. Sometimes it just happens that we get caught in doing so many things in this life that we forget to truly take care of ourselves. At the end of the day, we may feel empty, unloved, or lacking something essential. But don't worry, it happens to everyone who is human. Yet, then you may try to fill that emptiness with something else. Perhaps it's a substance, a person, an activity, a new purchase, or just getting sucked into your phone and feel even more drained and lifeless later on. You know that trying to fill these empty holes with goodies from the outer world will never make you feel deeply fulfilled. This emptiness inside you is the great cosmic mystery that needs something deeper, bigger, and truly satisfying. The only thing that will truly fulfill you is the connection with your true spiritual essence. It's good to know this essence is always within you and experienced when you make inner peace your number one priority. The all-intelligent universe never makes mistakes. Why hanker for security? Life is insecure. It is in its very nature. Hence, it is simple logic. Those who want to be more alive, they have to live in insecurity. The greater the insecurity, the more will be your aliveness. Each one of us naturally carries a deep and sacred clarity about ourselves and our world. We were born with a crystal clear perception of life that has no judgments nor any limiting beliefs. However, through the years, this innate understanding became clouded by others' judgments, opinions, and misperceptions. Habitual thinking patterns soon developed that were embedded with gobs of assumptions, societal beliefs, and countless stories about what limited and powerless human beings we really are. With all of this misunderstanding, the mind could assume that this whole world was unjust and that human interactions were a constant struggle we all just had to deal with to survive. The habit of unclear seeing can be so cloudy that you don't realize you've got it. If you feel that you're in a whirlpool of challenges and have been suffering on any level for weeks or months, you'll want to break out of this spinning toilet bowl of limited thinking and simply return to your greatest truth. Your greatest truth is that which liberates you on the deepest level and causes your life to overflow with joy and ease. It is your most natural state of being that has the taste of unbounded freedom. When we can clearly know our truth and feel what is exactly going on within our hearts, we become aligned with our soul's mission and feel a deep aliveness bubbling up from within. The truth brings us into the experience of divine alignment with the whole universe, where every day feels like you're floating down a fun, effortless river made of milk and honey. So my invitation for you today just might be the most radical and challenging task you've ever received in your life. The action in itself is one that any child could easily conquer. Yet for a mature adult, it may bring you down to your knees. It's only for those who want to become unstoppably successful in every area of their lives. If this is you, then listen. If you want to feel totally alive, overflowing with tremendous joy and freedom in this lifetime, then give yourself plenty of courage to attempt this mission. Look within and be still, free from fear and attachment. Know the sweet joy of living in this way. Buddha. Yes, be aware this assignment is not for the half-hearted. It may bring up the greatest amount of fear you've ever discovered, yet it's good to know that all fear is simply excitement in disguise. So I hope that you can get excited about this invitation and see it as a special journey in unraveling yourself. I believe that all you'll need is 15 seconds of courage to complete this assignment that will shift your life in the most profound way. I want you to know why you're being offered this assignment. When you follow through with this mission, you'll discover the most amazing freedom inside you, a freedom that has no boundaries, no limitations, and a vast unlimited potentiality. It has nothing to give you but pure ecstasy and bliss. This freedom is not created by thoughts, bound by thoughts, nor liberated through thinking. It is discovered in that timeless space between your thoughts, otherwise known as the gap between each word which continues passing through your brain. In between your thoughts is the void, the unknown, the place where pure love, creativity, and a divine state of bliss will arise from. There are many techniques that will enable you to suddenly fall deep into this gap between your thoughts and discover the very source of who and what you are. Yet, many of these techniques have no lasting permanent effect, which remain implemented in your daily social life. There is, however, one technique is the most powerful of them all, which comes through one simple intention: speaking about that which cannot be spoken. Speaking about that which cannot be spoken. What does this mean? How are you to speak something which you cannot say? Inside you there exists a level of information that you are protecting, hiding, and keeping secret from the world. You fear that if society found out this information about you, that you would be ruined. This information is protecting your ego from being found out, where you may become embarrassed to the point of feeling like you should leave the community. The energy around protecting this information is draining and is exactly what you need to let go of. Holding on too tightly to anything in this world will create an energetic wall around your ego, causing you to live a shielded, guarded, unfree life. Whatever is behind this wall is the sacred secret information which you most need to share. The one thing that would destroy you in life is also that which will liberate you. Perhaps it's your greatest secret, your biggest fear, or that most embarrassing moment of your life. The golden nugget here is to see why this tiny piece of insignificant information has become such a big deal for you. Why you have spent so much energy in protecting and hiding it, rather than being liberated from these thoughts and feelings. We really don't know how small of a cage we are currently living in until we step out into the vast sky. By sharing that which we cannot share, we open the door to become that being who is continuously overflowing with joy, love, and laughter like a child. He who has realized the self in the heart has transcended the dualities and is never perplexed. Ramana. When we no longer invested in our egos, we don't spend all this extra mental energy in hiding or avoiding saying things with anyone. When we give up protecting the ego, a tremendous freedom is instantly found. A truly free soul is one who can speak whatever is on their mind with anyone at any time They are a walking state of liberation. No matter how trivial their message is, it is the liberty at which their words effortlessly pour out of their mouths which make them so amazing to be with. It is this level of freedom that gives them the power to dive into the deepest depths of their souls. That which we cannot share, should not share, or feel terrified to letting others know about ourselves is a big egoic game and hoax. People really don't care about your secrets. They most likely have their own, which are 10 times more frightening than yours. When we can dismantle any hesitation around sharing that which we should not share, the core ego structure and its walls around the prized identity we were once clinging to come tumbling down. After we share ourselves openly without care, or hidden secrets can fly free into the wind in vast unbounded sky, when the dust from the fear of social ostracization soon settles, we can suddenly see the world through crystal clear eyes as if it was for the very first time. As I've mentioned, this may be the hardest act of courage that any of us have ever tackled in our lives. Yet, no great action went without fear. You will discover a multitude of excuses for avoiding sharing what you cannot share. The ego may make you think that this assignment is ridiculous and your reputation is at stake. There are just some things in this life that are not meant to be shared. Look at this. Look at what you are defending, protecting, and avoiding. The ego is a master at keeping you in prison, continuing to hide that which keeps you locked up inside. Would you be a greater or lesser person having gone to your grave desperately holding this information back from those who are most intimate with you? You'll soon find that speaking your truth freely is contagious, as it enlightens the load for everyone in your presence every day. Once you start thinking about what information you're holding back from the world, ponder the idea of what it may feel like to not have to protect it anymore. What would it feel like once your great secret is out, fully accepted, and great compassion by your entire community? It makes you realize how much energy we spend on coping. What a tight, controlled, and limited world we often live with on the inside. There is no need for this self-engaged prison. We can choose to be free. Now, I'm not saying that you should shock every person you meet on the street by barfing your darkest, deepest secrets onto them. What would be the point of that? While that may be a liberating exercise, what I'm pointing you towards today is much more liberating. It's about creating a profound intimacy in those souls you already know. One great secret is knowing how to start sharing that which you cannot share. Knowing how to start sharing that which you cannot share. Before you say anything to anyone, it's key that you set the stage and that your individual listener or audience, with your own individual listener or audience. This can be done through shifting your tone of voice to a more deep, sincere, honest quality that prepares them to listen from that depth as well. Then you can start with saying, I'd like to share something with you that is not easy for me to speak about. With this one comment, you will instigate a heightened level of their listening, and the room will instantly get quiet. This creates a momentum to dive deeper within you, where it becomes easier to reveal your deepest truth and be fully heard. If your listener is not willing, is not willing to hear you, there is no reason to speak. If you know you simply cannot reach the minds and hearts of your audience, then remain silent and speak to them in a room by yourself. Yet, if these people truly love you, they will listen as best they can. It's vital that you learn how to reach out with your feelings Get a sense for where your audience is listening from. How can you say what you're needing to say in this special way that can understand you? When you learn how to listen to and through your listener's ears, you speak that message that comes through clearly. By tuning your mind to who is listening, you can share from a more confident space and communicate the more subtle aspects of that which cannot be communicated inside you. Radical heartfelt communication is about sharing your truth in a way that is received fully. If you aren't in tune with your audience's listening, it will feel like you're talking to a brick wall. When you're ready to instigate a radical change in your life, I'd recommend doing this exercise. Create a truth circle. Gather a group of your closest friends or family members into a circle for an hour. Find an object that everyone agrees is to be the sacred talking stick. The stick can be anything from a rock, an egg, an actual stick, or whatever you deem to be the special talking device. Only the person holding the stick has the right to speak, and everyone else cannot make commentary, give suggestions, or feedback. The only feedback everyone can give is silence. Give each person 5 to 10 minutes, depending on the size of the circle, to share that which they cannot share. Place the stick in the middle of the circle, and when a person is ready, they must pick it up. Each person holding the stick must spend the entire time speaking as much as they can from their very soul. If there is more silence than words, wonderful. That will give them more initiative to share when the sharing circle happens next week. Before you begin the circle, talk about the intention of the circle, which is to create a deeper quality of honesty, love, truthfulness, friendship between everyone. The support of the circle will as well liberate each individual from their fears and insecurities. Have everyone agree that information shared is sacred and that it will never leave the circle. The reverence of this agreement gives everyone more permission to reveal themselves fully. The silence during sharing time also needs to be held in the most sacred manner. And if there's some people absolutely cannot hold back a small chuckle or laughter, that also has to be welcomed and integrated. Laughter can instigate a deeper healing, creating lightness out of what someone deemed a heavy traumatic demon in their mind or decades. You will be blown away at what happens in your life with this assignment. You, your family, and friendships will totally be transformed. By holding a sacred sharing circle on a weekly basis, the connections and intimacy will be amazing. The layers of shielding and hiding will in time start falling away, and you'll discover an entirely new level of inner peace and relaxation with everyone, the inside your being. Imagine a world where everyone you know is included in this level of sharing. Imagine what would happen if your entire community started to participate in their own sharing circles. Everyone around you could openly share their deepest truth without fear. In a few months, you would have a very empowered, whole, and healed world around you. If you'd like to learn the secrets, learn them. Discover them. I had a circle that we called the Circle of Light years ago. And it was welcome to every single person that was interested in joining the circle. And we would all sit around the round table. And these circle meetings happened all over the world. They were in every country. And many of them are still going on. And every once a week, everybody would meet. And they would be open. And they would share. And it was amazing what happened with a lot of these people. So this circle understanding, it's basically to help us flush out all of these things that keep us preoccupied and stop us from enjoying our lives. It's kind of like that yoke that we have placed on our shoulders that we get heavy with, and we pull it through and take it through life. And this is part of the exercise to release that. for everyone who chooses to participate. So if you will, go to the place where you're not going to be interrupted. And I'm sure that we all are. And the first thing that we care to do, it's always the first thing for any of us, is relax the body naturally. And to do that, we focus on our breath. And, some people get carried away with their breath and they almost, pass out. But this is an easy, deep breath in through the nose and an easy breath out through the mouth. And to get into a rhythm. And as you do this, the body relaxes. Because when you focus on your breath, you relax the body, you leave the mind, ego, subconscious mind alone. You leave them alone. You still them with your breath. And you move into the now. If you're preoccupied with your ego mind, you are not in the now. You are never in the now. You're either in the future or the past. So to be in the now and to still the mind, the ego, and the subconscious mind, it's your breath. And also we know that the breath sustains that body that we're all in. So we can experience physical life. And we give the body the power to be able to do that for us. So this is also how you master the ego mind. And understand the subconscious mind. See, the subconscious mind, once we get an intimate understanding of what it is, which is another illusion, but when we understand what it is, then we can fill it with what we choose to fill it with. It's all connected. Would you rather have your subconscious mind filled with positive things, things that are highly motivational, enjoyable, springing you forward, rather than all the garbage and junk that they've absorbed ever since you entered the baby body, which is mostly everybody else's thoughts, feelings, and emotions, characters, and personalities that we store, all of us do, in the subconscious mind library. So we learn by watching our ego mind how to master them and how to talk with them. Where you say to the ego, hey, ego, you're good here, okay? I got your back. Everything will be fine. Just follow my lead. Believe it or not, that makes a huge difference. That communicate with the ego that way through the heart mind. It's the same with the mind. Hey, mind, I got this. Don't worry. Follow my lead. You will be fine, safe, and secure. And after all, we're in these bodies to master again. All right? We're all masters. We've just forgotten how to master. As Kaika said, we've all had a case of amnesia for quite a long time. In order to come out of that amnesia, we must choose to discover who and what we are. So how do you know when the body relaxes? Because it gets light. You feel light. You ever been in a hammock or a lounge chair or easy chair or something, and you just kind of, you just floated off. You weren't really asleep, but you weren't really awake. You were kind of in between, and nothing. You weren't worried. You weren't stressed. You weren't concerned about anything. It was all gone. The mind chatter, everything was all gone. And you were in that space. That's the now. That is the now, when you feel that way. You're not doped up, running, banging into walls and stuff, trying to figure out where you're at. You innately know. And we can attain this level of understanding of in the now, whenever we choose. It's not really hard. And the now, really, for all of us, is all we have. We don't have yesterday's breath, and we don't have tomorrow's breath. We only have the breath in the now. See, this is about filtering at our own choosing out all the distraction. It literally is about filtering out all the distraction. The ego mind, the subconscious mind, the mind chatter, all these thoughts that aren't ours. 99% of the thoughts that pass us by like clouds in the sky, they're not our thoughts. Why do you think there's so much confusion and puzzlement and frustration on this planet? Because we're all living and experiencing other people's thoughts. Isn't that wild? And the way you checkmate that is you say, you know what? When I generate a thought, we generate over 60,000 a day, each of us. Most of them we weren't even aware of because we're not in the now. But when we do that and we send our thoughts out, but when we have thoughts come in, they're not ours. See? They're not our thoughts. Now imagine that. 8 billion of us every day sending out over 60,000 thoughts apiece. Isn't that wild? That's massive. So you wonder why. And they're tricky little devils because they have your name on them. See? That which you aren't anyway. They have your name on them. They connect with one of your reminiscings or something. And boom, before you know it, you're off with that thought. And a lot of the times, some of us will literally embrace that thought. We get tricked into believing that it is our thought, so we take it, we move it into form, create it in reality, and then we experience it. And some of us will say, this doesn't really feel right. And that's why. It's like trying to put a square peg in a round hole. So it's all about discovery. All of us. It's our choosing to discover who and what we are. No one's going to force you, trick you into doing that. You, through your heart mind, will decide. It's time that I take my journey within and stay within. It's an endless journey, but along the way you discover who and what you are. You discover you're the God, the pure consciousness, that you're the love. You imagine what's going to happen when the majority of this civilization discovers that. It's paradise. It's like nirvana and beyond. Now, when we know we're not the body, okay, we get to a certain point of understanding. We know we're not the body. We know we are not the voice. We are not the character. We are not the name. We are not the personality. We are not our status in this material, physical society. We're the God. We establish that. We understand it. We also know how valuable the body is to us and for us to carry us around to experience this physical life and to finally discover who and what we are while in physical form. It's pretty nifty. And when we look at the body with that understanding, we see 7 lights. Lights like we've never seen on this planet, vibrant, in all different colors. And these lights are from the tailbone to the top of the head. And some people call them chakras, and the definition of chakra is wheel. These are wheels of light. They're spiritual etheric energy. We, the God within the body, is spiritual etherical energy. Omnipotently powerful. So we stream through them. We flow through them constantly. And they connect to all the body's emotions, feelings, organs, structured tissues, all the way down to the quantum quark. So you can see that how this cascades. We discovered that we are the God within the body, through the heart-mind, without any doubt, with total faith and total trust. And then we understand that, well, in that case, I can heal the body I'm in any of its situations. If it's in dis-ease, I can heal it. See, and this is the direction that this civilization is chosen to go. We are all the power of healing. There isn't even a debate there. It has been performed by a few of us, but took a lot longer, but it has been accomplished. And that is knowing who and what you are is the big primer to that. Now, it's just so important for us to be gentle, kind, generous, and humble with ourselves at all times. It's also very imperative that we stay in deep, eternal gratitude all the time. All the time. Practice makes perfect. You keep practicing, even though your ego mind says, that's just stupid. You don't need to do that. But you stick with it. You stay in gratitude every day. And you'll find at times during the course of the day, it'll just kick in. You'll get to that point where you just, for no reason whatsoever, you'll say to yourself, I am deeply, eternally grateful for this very moment I'm in. We all have memories. We have our own libraries, which is the subconscious mind. We can go into those libraries anytime we choose to review and savor some of our past life experiences. And then, or in this life. And then we can just review them and say, that was really fun. I really enjoyed that. Oh, remember this time? You look at the pictures and everything. It's fun. It's fun. There's nostalgia and memories and stuff. That's why a lot of us will keep things. Could be vehicles, anything, and to keep them in good, because they represent a segment or a part of our lives where we reminisce. We had a lot of fun. We enjoyed things. And it might have been connected to a family member or something. And that's fun to do, to go into that library, that subconscious mind library, open the door, turn on all the lights, and just, it's yours, it's only yours, it's private for you only, and you can go in there and look at whatever you want. But we don't stay there, see? And most of us know that. We do that, and then we leave, turn off the light, shut the door, move forward. Now imagine that we're all, we all can choose. We have 3 golden circles, right? Paths, right? And we're standing in the center one, and then there's one on the left, one on the right. So and then we look at these paths, and they're all identical, okay? And you see these trees that are all gold and shimmering, the leaves, the bark, the branches, everything. And they have formed a canopy over each path. And each path, on the pathway, is this flaming, bright emerald green. It looks grassy. It almost looks like a flame. Beautiful. And the one we're standing on is the now. The one on the left is the past. One on the right is the future. Now, like I said, we all, visit the past, which is fun. But some of us will stay there way too long. And I don't believe that they do it consciously. I think it's unconsciously. And then they end up taking that past and they bring it into a future that doesn't exist. And they create that future from that past. And they relive that past and that future. And that's why a lot of people say no matter what we do, we always end up here. Now, the one on the right, those paths, the one on the past path, it looks really worn. And the one on the right looks really worn, the future. And we all go in the future. We all go there and we ask ourselves certain questions, or we'll go to a psychic, or we go to astrologers, or whatever. And we try to get answers for ourselves. I had a lot of people come to me and say, when is this dark cloud following me around going to end? Why does everything and they'd say that whatever they did, it always ended up in disaster. They felt it's total failures. And the interesting thing is the dark cloud that is following you around is what you created. By being in, we term it stinking thinking, where you're in that lower vibrational frequency and you get so used to being in it, you don't even know you're in it anymore. And then at the same time, you don't even know that you're creating this low frequency energy that keeps you. The universe says, well, they love to be in this low vibrational frequency, so we'll keep sending them things that keeps them in a low vibrational frequency. It's like, when am I going to get a better job? When am I going to have a better boss? When am I going to have enough money so I can enjoy my life? When am I going to be healthy enough to enjoy my life? Or when am I just going to be happy? And these are all the things that we can do for ourselves. That's how powerful we are. But we rely on external authority to tell us. Okay? And a lot of times, because of what we're told, we create it. And then you go to that reader and you say, you know what? You were right on. Everything that you told me happened. Okay? And I tell them, yeah, because you created it. Everything's in the now. We create our future in the now. The past is in the now. Okay? It's all there. But see, the challenge for us to stay in the now is, remember all those thoughts, those programs that aren't ours? You could be in the now. We've all done this so many times. And then we float off. Do we do it on purpose? Heck no. We don't do it on purpose. It just goes off. And so you say to yourself, it's not a biggie. I'll focus on my breath and I'll be in the now. Now, in the beginning, it's uncomfortable for some people because they're so used to living into the future or the past. They're never in the now, so they're always thinking ahead, always thinking, what am I going to do tomorrow? And, wonder if, this and that. And that's what happens. So being in the now at first for some people is very uncomfortable, and it's challenging because very few people can stay in the now. But it's just discipline. It's practice. And eventually you get to the point through the heart-mind where most of the time you're in the now, and when you're not, you know how to go into the now. Now, we know that consciously aware is that we know we are of and from the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest, and the purest of the purest purest eternal love. We know that we're consciously aware. Right? We also know that we are the God in the body. It means we're kind of like 50% there of total discovery. Then we really get into it when we start discovering that the God is pure consciousness. Okay? That's the next step of understanding. And we'll all get there eventually. So we know that the soul, the God, the kingdom of God, the heaven of which we are, right, enters the baby body, powers the baby body from that point forward for however long, and eventually we'll choose however long, then we want to be in that body and experience physical life. So we are the heaven and the earth, on the earth, the body. Heaven, the God that you are, body, earth. And so we're heaven on earth, literally. And heaven isn't a place, it's you. And every step we take, we're creating paradise, literally. And on top of that, we're blasting and shining are God, love, light, energy everywhere. Pure, deep, eternal love. We're of what we are. We're flooding this planet, on it, in it, above it, and below it. 24/7. Infinity and beyond. So if you were to take a starship off this planet out far enough so you saw the total globe, you would see that it glowed. And in comparison, you would look at all the lights around it in the universe, and they would dim. They'd be like a lit candle in a dark space. They'd dim in comparison. And this is pure, deep, eternal love. That's the light. There's no light that can compare to it. This is the God source. Now, we also know that parts of the gods that we are asleep. They'll wake up in their own choosing. They're with us because they're part of us. They don't participate in the meditation, so to speak, because they're asleep. But they're still with us. They're parts of the gods that we are that are asleep. The other parts are the ones, of course, that are consciously aware and are awake to a certain extent. This is all the light energy beings and all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. This is in the numbers of gigaplexes. One gigaplex fills this universe with not even 1 square inch of sacred space to spare. And these are trillions of gigaplexes coming from trillions of universe in every single direction. And these are all part of the gods that we are. Whether you're a billion light years away, doesn't matter. There's no separation. And we have ascended masters, Kuan Yin, Maitreya, Buddha, Lakshmi, Ganesh, Gaia, Saint Germain, Christ, Abundantia, El Moria, Pel, Thoth, Yahweh, Yeshua, the archangels, cherubim, seraphim, the archetypes. All of our loved ones who ascended out of body in this lifetime and all lifetimes that we've inhabited. All the off-worlders, galactics, and celestials. All the inhabitants of inner earth, hollow earth, Agartha, and beneath earth. All of this, part of the one God, which we all make up. Now, the off-worlders, the galactics and the celestials, over 1,000 species, civilizations travel through the solar system every day. Trillions throughout the universes every day. We're familiar with a small group. Pleiadians, Sirians, Arcturians, Andromedans, Felines, Zeta Reticuli, Anunnaki, Nords, Greys, Draco Reptilian, Golden Pyramid Avian. Now, this particular group has been assisting us in our evolution, enlightenment, and ascension, freeing ourselves from our own self-imposed bondage and our own self-imposed slavery. Now, the archangels, their civilization vibrated at a different frequency than we do, and that's why we don't see them like we see each other. There'll be a stranger passing by, make a wonderful comment toward you that you don't know each other. It's an angel. There'll be one that comes in and helps you with something. It's an angel. You'll be in conversation out of the clear blue. Someone starts up a conversation with you, a total stranger. But during the course of the conversation, you have a feeling with your heart-mind. Can't really put your finger on it yet. But then after the conversation goes by, something comes over you, and you say, that wasn't just a regular happenstance. That was an angel. And you'll feel bliss from within bubble to the surface. And they have a message that they deliver to us through all lifetimes. And some of us decipher it, others don't. But those of us who do, comes down to, isn't it absolutely magna glorious to be alive in these bodies? And it is. It's total bliss. Now, a lot of us don't know this, but you'll discover it when you decide to leave the body, that when you're in the body, you can experience so many different things. We take eating for granted, right? As gods, we don't eat. We don't taste. We don't touch. We don't laugh. We don't smile. We don't cry. We don't frown. We don't get angry. We don't get revengeful. We don't get greedy. We aren't dishonest. See, all those things are inherited with the physical body. Isn't that a challenge? Isn't it? At the same time, seducing us to want as much as we can get of the physical form. How could we ever get bored in these bodies and not be grateful for every breath we take? Because we've been so distracted for so many millennia with the physical, material world. And that's what we created to entertain ourselves. Isn't that interesting? Now, they can surround any one of us at any one time in the tens of millions. Because of their vibrational frequency, they can hold a large number in a small area. So if you want them to do so, they will gladly, within a blink of the eye, be all around you. And you will experience bliss. Now, the Ascended Masters, they have ascended into physical form, and they have mastered physical form. They have ascended out of physical form, currently hold pure consciousness, God form. We have ascended into physical form. We are in the process of mastering physical form. We are creating our experiences to perfect our creation. They're all light energy beings. Now, with the eyes that we have, we don't see in these different light spectrums. We only see 1% of what is. And they come in shapes, colors, sizes, forms, configurations, which we don't ever see. But there is a group that we're actually interactive with, for the most part, that we're aware of. The fairies, the sprites, the elves, the gnomes, the dwarves, the trees, the trolls, the elementals, earth, air, water, fire, ether, wood, the mermaid, the dolphin, the whale, the pegasus, the unicorn, centaur, the minotaur. And you can ask yourself, could this body sustain the God that I am without air? Right? No. What about water? No. What about earth? Most likely not. What about wood? No. What about ether? No. So we're intimately dependent on parts of this group. And a lot of the times we don't know it. We don't feel it or know it because we're so preoccupied. Again, it's just something that we just take for granted. And we're all gathered, so to speak, as one in full compassion, non-judgment, non-ego, non-negativity, stillness of mind, gentleness, kindness, generosity, and humbleness, bliss, joy, peace, tranquility, benevolence, prosperity, abundance. And we're all one. And we're all love. And we're all God. And our God force, love, light, energy is in all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. And it continues to intensify, grow, expand. We immediately form a circle of light around the equator of this planet Earth, Gaia, Arya, and this now. This light emanates from the God force, love, light, energy within each and every single one of us. It is pure, deep, eternal love. It floods this planet, infinity and beyond, nonstop. Head to toe, inside and out. All life, the highest supreme value in the universes. Now we begin to ascend above the planet, and we're immediately met with this massive ocean of glitter. Now this glitter isn't like you would normally think on this planet. It's like a fireworks, a grand finale fireworks display of which nothing on this planet has ever come close to, and a grand finale laser light show, and a ballroom globe, like the mirror globes that we see on the planet, that you put in a room and it reflects slowly all the lights. But this one is about a trillion times bigger and a trillion times more intense. So you combine all that, and that is the ocean of glitter. You see that through your heart, mind's motion picture. It's absolutely spectacular. The reflected lights we've never seen before, everywhere. And we're curious, so we look at the reflective points of this ocean of glitter. And we get close and we see these little tiny microscopic, perfectly etched mirrors. And we enter them. And we discover that all of us, and all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever, are teaching, learning, teaching. Student, teacher, student, or both. And we're doing this constantly. It never ends. We're always learning from one another. And we're all pieces, we're all parts, we're all gods in physical form, and sometimes not. And like the wind, but we discover that each of us inhabit a physical form, so we can learn about that physical form and what the sensation of feeling is as a God in that physical form. And while we're doing that, look at all of the physical things that God inhabits to experience. Tree's not life. The God within it is the life. You see what I mean? Dog, cat, it's the life within it. You ever had to put down a pet? You ever notice that spirit, that God within it jumps right out at times? Other times it'll hang around. This is powerful. This is what the civilization usually misses. Well, you sit in a park, and you focus on your breath, and you're still, and you watch, and things will appear, because the other gods know that you're aware. And so they start guiding towards you, because they all want to share what they're learning and what you can learn from them. It's magnificent. It's magniglorious. We're immediately met with the emerald green flaming healing light of Archangel Raphael. This is a column of light that we all created to remind us all, the gods we are in these bodies, that we are the power of healing. We are then met with the violet, blue, purple flaming light of Archangel Michael. This is a column of light that we created to remind us all, the gods that we are in these bodies, of our omnipotent power, strength, and resolve. We are then met with the white fire. This is a column of light that we created to remind us all that from head to toe, inside and out, we are imbued with a white fire armor. Nothing like the armor on this planet, way beyond that. So we're protected 24/7, infinity and beyond, from possessions, demons, attachments, lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies, all sorts of things. They can't come close to us at that high frequency. They'll vaporize, vanish. So they stay away. But only you have the power that if you decide to lower your vibrational frequency low enough, whether consciously or unconsciously, your hatred, greed, anger, fear, envy, hurriedness, dishonesty, manipulation, revenge, you will lower your vibrational frequency low enough to create a breach in your white fire armor, enough so to allow all the lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies to come flooding in. then you have all kinds of opportunities for possible attachment, demon possession, lots of lower dark matter, survival matter frequency occurrences and events. If you do decide to do this, you are immediately met with a double column of light. The first part of this column is the purple transmuting flame. We created this part of the column to remind us all that we can bring in the purple transmuting flame. We can transmute all of these lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies into neutral light substance, sending them to pure consciousness where they are, no more. The second half of this column of light that we created is the violet ray. This column of light was created to remind us all that we can bring in the violet ray right behind the purple transmuting flame. We can cleanse and purify the area where these lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies were, sealing the breach in our white fire armor, restoring our vibrational harmony with the highest of the highest high, the deepest of the deepest deepest, and the purest of the purest purest, eternal love, gratitude, and peace. We are then met with the golden white pink light. This is the column of light that we created to remind all of us, the gods that we are within these bodies, that we are the sun. We are the sunlight. We are the sunsets and the sunrises. We are the rain and the rainbows. We are the oceans, the rivers, the lakes, and the streams. We are the trees and the forest and the soils, and the animals, and the mountains. We're everything. Everything is us. So the next time you view a sunset or a sunrise or a rainbow or a snowfall, normally we say, isn't that beautiful? And this, we miss the understanding. But through our heart minds, when we see it, that is the God that I am. A whole different immersion and understanding through the heart mind. We continue to ascend above the planet. As we do, some of us step outside our physical form, if we're carrying physical form, and we hover effortlessly above it. And we do this because it's fun, and we can. We come into full contact with this massive crystalline light tower. We created this tower. It's larger than the solar system and beyond. In the center of the column, we see this massive oblong sphere. In the center of the sphere, we see a golden white ball of light. And around, circling the golden white ball of light, it almost seems like an infinity of rings, multicolored rings, surrounding it endlessly. And they've created this super white, misty, cloudy form, and it's reflecting, glittering, and electrical impulses, and it's absorbed into our heart center, our heart mind. And it's like a warm embrace that never ends. The golden white bowl of light, we discover, is the highest of the highest high, the deepest of the deepest deepest, and the purest of the purest purest, eternal love. Then comes gratitude. And well-being, gentleness, kindness, generosity, and humbleness, bliss, joy, peace, tranquility, and benevolence, tremendous prosperity, phenomenal abundance. And we all discover that all of this is a reflection of the gods that each and every single one of us are. Now, we designed the top of this tower so the golden ocean can come cascading down 360 degrees. As it's doing right now, it's been doing from infinity and beyond. And this golden ocean is the highest of the highest high, the deepest of the deepest deepest, and the purest of the purest purest, eternal love. And this is flooding the whole planet, all life, the highest supreme value in the universe. Nothing can escape it. And all of us are drops of this golden ocean. We also hold the essence of this golden ocean. Golden ocean is the drops are the golden ocean. And the only illusion is separation. We see our meditative sphere at set center circle. We all created this sphere almost 4 years ago. It holds nearly 1,800 of our meditations in perpetual motion. These meditations continue to intensify and continue to expand and grow. They flood this planet 24/7 with nonstop. This is a complete liberation of this planet Earth, Gaia, Arya, in this now. Hundreds of millions of us on and off world, consciously aware. There is no more need to be stuck. The same old stagnant patterns of our minds are a delusion. We are not stuck anywhere. Wake up. We are a divine being of God. Make the commitment to ignore the old path of lacking money, love, empowerment, and freedom. Don't you already feel hopeless and pathetic enough? For today, practice saying yes to the experience of having access to love, joy, total freedom. Choose to feel free in your work or lack of work. Choose to feel free in your amazing relationships or your lack of amazing relationships. Choose to feel free in your health or your lack of health. Commit yourself to feeling free. All of us are free to feel, think, imagine, and believe anything we want. Claim it today. This is our freedom. We are free to say out loud right now, I am the God force, powerful, alive, and free. I'll join in the meditation and return to close us out. Take an easy breath in through the nose. And an easy breath out the mouth. Move easily and slowly. Each of us will live for eternity. Yeah, this body and mind will cease someday. Yet we will go on and on and on. Once we know in our hearts that we have an infinite amount of time ahead of us, we will relax and step into an expansive, timeless, multidimensional spiritual experience. Every little occurrence becomes another opportunity for spiritual growth and enlightenment. So adding for today, act as if you are living an ever-youthful, energetic, super-alive body-mind that will live far beyond 1,000 years. Have conversations with people from this place, knowing you will live forever. Imagine the wisdom, relationships, the experiences you will have during this time. Feel, experience, and know you live forever in an ideal anti-aging state of being. Explore, imagine, and rediscover who you are. Take this with you for the rest of the day into the evening and night and the following morning. We will return here Wednesday, January 12th, 2022, 3 p.m. Eastern to continue our global guided meditation call, and 9 p.m. Eastern to continue our Time for Change call.